Friends, this is a short clip on the subject of land registration in Kerala. Now, we're all dreaming of having a plot of our own at some point in our lives. Now, there are certain pitfalls and precautions that has to be taken for going for registration of a sale deed. I'm Advocate Faisal. After having selected a plot of land we have taken a liking to, we obviously have to find out the fair value by verifying with other plots nearby, or even agreements or sale deeds, and come to a common understanding with the seller to buy the plot. Now, from that point onwards, verifying the prior deeds to the stage of actual registration of the land, we can conveniently have it described in 4 stages to simplify matters. Like I said before, first one would be the due diligence or the scrutiny of the prior documents to verify that the right which the seller has obtained is free from defect. The second stage, we can have the encumbrance verified, find out that there are no encumbrances on the property and it is free of any charges. Third one is the sale agreement, and fourth, stamp duty and actual registration of the sale deed. Now we can come back to the due diligence or the scrutiny of the documents. Here we are basically trying to find out that the right obtained by the seller doesn't suffer from any defect. Firstly, we'll have to verify whether any right belonging to the minor or children below the age of 18 have been conveyed through the deed. If any such right is involved, then we'll have to verify that such conveyance has been made by proper persons appointed as guardians by the appropriate court. If that is so, it has legal validity. Otherwise, the minor or persons who succeed him or persons who have interest can question the deed. The same applies to persons of unsound mind, meaning if any right belonging to persons of unsound mind has been conveyed, we have to make sure that it has been done by persons appointed as guardians on their behalf by appropriate court. If it is so done, then it has again legal validity. If not, the deed can be open to challenge at any point. And a buyer would be beware that he doesn't fall into a trap. Now after this, we'll have to find out whether the property has been succeeded to by persons, meaning supposing a person has died and the property falls to the right of persons who succeed him, successors in interest. If that is the case, then we'll have to verify to see that the personal laws, the shares provided in the personal laws of each religion has been followed. That applies for Hindu law, Muslim law, or the Christian law. That is done, we come to the part of verifying whether the land is one which comes under the excess above the ceiling limit of the Kerala provided in the Kerala Land Reforms Act. It has to be verified whether the land comes under the Kerala Forest Act, Forest Conservancy Act, Private Forest Vesting and Assignment Act, Ecologically Fragile Lands, Coastal Regulation Zone. The verification is that the property doesn't come under any of the land as provided under these acts. Should also be seen that it doesn't belong to the government, meaning it shouldn't be a Parambok land. And again, property belonging to scheduled caste or scheduled tribe cannot be conveyed. Proper precautions will be taken in that case also. After this, we can probably verify that the seller has got proper rights, ownership rights, other than the sale deed that he is possessing, or any other deed that he possesses. We can call for the basic tax receipt and the Tandapir extract from the village office. The property belongs to a joint family, or it is a common property. A common property. No objection certificate from the person other than the seller will have to be obtained. Again, if a property belongs to a person who is residing NRI outside India, it has to be seen that the person has executed a valid power of attorney and has the necessary stamps affixed on them. It would pay well to clarify that the property is free, that it has not been mortgaged, and if it is provided for rental purposes, then what are the terms in which it will be conveyed. In cases of property being owned by company, trust, society, partnership, etc., the basic deeds, the case of partnership deed, in case of a company, memorandum of understanding and articles of association, and the case of society, the articles prepared therein, creating that society, will have to be verified. In case of flats, the possession certificate, builder seller agreement, the lease deed, possession certificate will have to be looked into. Now we come to the second stage, wherein the conveyance is to the verification is done to see that the property doesn't have any charge on it. For this, the registration department can be approached, and an application can be given asking them to provide details of encumbrance for the last 30 years. And any encumbrance which has taken place within this period ought to be reflected in the certificate. Talking of 30 years, the period in which the due diligence is carried out is also over a period of 30 years. Mainly to make sure that there are no pitfalls and defect in the ownership right of the seller. Once the encumbrance part is over, we'd enter into a formal agreement with the seller, which should be on a stamp paper, and it could be registered or unregistered. If it is registered, obviously the subsequent people who approach who are expressing interest on the property get to know that there has been a prior buyer who has entered into an agreement with the seller, and it provides safeguards from the seller opting for another buyer. The sale agreement naturally provides details regarding the property, the area covered, period over which the transaction is to take place, and penalty in case of default. Now from here we enter into stamp duty. This can be, nowadays the registration department has made it online, and therefore e-stamp can be obtained by logging into the registration department website and downloading e-stamp, after obviously paying out the stamp fees, stamp duty. By the way, stamp duty present point of time is 8% of the sale value, and registration fee being 2% of the sale value. The